Hello, welcome to another edition of the League's review/preview show. I am your host, your league owner, your VP of media, and your inaugural league champion, Samuel Travers Wood. Welcome back to another show. Apologies for the delay in the releasing of the shows. We've had some technical difficulties at league headquarters, and I'm afraid they've stopped us being able to show these videos. Collusion, some may say, but a simple internet problem that has been fixed. Moving on, we're going to start straight away with week 11. What a week it was, fantastic week. We're going to start off right at the top. What a game, two high scoring people. Wood versus Hume. Wood, some say he was on the rack for a bit there. You know, lost 3 in a row. Not looking good. But he has pulled a win out from absolutely nowhere. He's showing him what a fighter is, what a champion he is. You know, he's part of the top scorer again this week. The guy's coming to form just at the right time, like he's been predicting all year. This is what he said, peak at the right time. And he's doing it right now. High scorer this week with 156. Great pickups, Carson Palmer. And of course Eddie Lacy. What a pickup that's going to look to be now. Looking like it's going to come to running back one. Got taken first round in the draft, and he's looking like he's going to be exactly what he says on the tin. Ollie, unlucky. Rob Gronkowski is with me today. Not a good showing. Ollie walking into that match, looking good, looking like he's cruising to a victory. With Tio slipping up this week, as we'll allude to later, looking as if it's going to be all over and it's going to be his for the taking, but not to be, I'm afraid, not to be. It was an absolute shocker from Gronk, my boy, respect. But I think Ollie can take solace in the fact that regular season means nothing. We've seen it all before. Regular season champion bottoms out. You know, last year it happened. First year it didn't because it was a great champion. But yeah, it's going to be an awfully tough position for Ollie to come through now, because he's not really playing for anything anymore. He's in the playoffs guaranteed, which is great for him. Can he get a bye? Maybe if Brandon slips up. But I think if I'm Ollie, I'm looking at my matchups. I'm looking at the other people around the league, trying to predict who I want to play in the playoffs first round. You know, I'm maybe looking to risk it and try and drop down a position, move up a position, depending on who you want. I know who I would want as a player, and I'm sure Ollie will be looking at it very closely. As for the actual game itself being played, Woods obviously got the best quarterback in the game at the moment. Palmer looking really strong. He's got his running backs, Forte's coming back. He's got Ingram. He's got Eddie Lacy, and he's looking stacked at the moment. Really stacked. Obviously, his team. I'm just looking it up now just to tell you what a team it is. You know, you look at this, you listen to this team, and you can tell me whether you think this is a good team. You got Carson Palmer, Forte and Lacy, Des Bryant, Jarvis Landry, Gary Barnage, Mark Ingram. You've got Doug Martin sitting on the bench with Phil Rivers and John Brown. I mean, that team is, if you ask me, it's as stacked as it gets. And I can't see how people are not seeing him as a threat. Top scorer this week, going from strength to strength. If Eddie Lacy keeps it up, that's going to be vital. If Des comes back because Roma's there, the team's peaking. It's exciting times, Wood. He's excited. He's looking at it as if this is my moment to get that two-time champion. And I fancy his chances. I would even go so far to say he's the favourite. He's the favourite to win it right now, on this kind of form, dominant form. You know, it's a case of, can you stop him now? Is the peak still going, or is it going to drop? So, moving on, next game. This is an interesting game because, as VP of Media, I've been predicting this for many weeks, and I've finally been proven correct. And that is that T.O.'s team is not what everyone thinks it is. 86 points this week. Some will say that's a blip. I've seen it coming. I've seen this coming. This is the moment his team's dropping off the map. He's not going to do it anymore. He's had some good waivers. You think the running back situation is not looking good. He's lost Edelman. He's finally getting some bad luck. It's about time. Okay? And I'm sorry, this team isn't for real. This is the playoff. This is the playoff bust team. If he gets a bye, he's going out. He's like the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFL. He's going to get embarrassed in the playoffs. Tom, bad week. I don't. He's all braggy about it because he won. He's like, oh, 125 points. It's awful, awful score. Okay, simple as. Tom, you're a joke. Your team's a joke, and you're gonna get mauled next week. More about that later. 125. I don't know what he thinks of that. When he goes and gets beat by everyone in the league, except like Charles, Craig, and T.O. It's embarrassing. They're the jokes of the league. Let's be honest. Their teams are embarrassing this year. T.O. I'm sorry, T.O. You're the worst team in the playoffs as far as I'm concerned. The team has just absolutely peaked, and I don't see anything that scares me in T.O.'s team. Tom, good luck to you. 125 points. See you next week. Next game. Whoa, this is a tight one. Craig versus Charles. Less than 1 point in it. What a game this was for... If you like low scoring affairs, then this is the game for you, because Charles says he set his team. I don't know where he thinks Germany is, but I feel like he thinks he's in the North Pole or something. Charles, they have Wi-Fi in Germany. They have internet in Germany. You can use your mobile device in Germany. Okay? It doesn't make a difference to your team. Stop coming up with excuses. It takes 2-3 minutes to set your team. Set your fucking team and do it in time for the match and check it. Not hard. Use your brain if you've got one, okay? I know your brother's Tom, so I'm starting to doubt that. But use your brain, okay? Craig, he's nicked one here. He's nicked a win. I've looked at his... true record. If he played everyone every week, he'd be like bottom of the league. His team he has got some absolute great weeks of like just great matchups with people having bad weeks. It's fantastic to see that Craig is just eking out wins, hanging in there, frustrating Mr. Tom Smith by sticking in there. Tom saying Craig's nothing, Craig's not a problem, I'll bash him up if I play him. Tom's all talk. He's talking up to Craig because Craig's been making him look like a fool in the group chat. Tom is just talking talk behind people's backs, and it's about time someone put him down. Last game, Andrew Brunning versus Simon Kay. Some have called this the Desperate Bowl. After one team only, Mr. Brunning's team. The embarrassment, I feel, is high right now. Speaking to Andrew today, little interview of him today, tells me it's an inspired pickup. Tells me that this is a great pickup. Oh, I was looking on it. I was looking at this. We all know what it was. It was a desperate 5 minutes before kickoff pickup. Could have picked anyone up. Could have been a wide receiver. Could have been anyone. You know, could have been a kicker. Could have picked anyone up. He might as well have gone. Clicked a button. That's how lucky it is. He's a joke. His team's a joke, and I think he's going to get what's coming to him eventually, because he's talking a lot of trash in the group chat, and he's putting a pretty big target for himself. I do think that Simon's unlucky that Rawls scored 52 points, but at the same time, 125 isn't really a great score. Got to put bigger scores up than that if you want to win this league. Si's Mr. Average at the moment in his team. A lot of injuries going around. I think they're affecting everyone, but I think he's not using the waiver wire enough, really. I haven't seen a lot. I could be incorrect. I think he's sitting there thinking his team's strong enough, and I just don't see it. Again, I just see a weakness in his team. Maybe he needs a quarterback. I don't know, but because Derek Carr, 9 points. Derek Carr, 9 points. Pick up of the week according to Michael Fabiano. What a stinker he had. But yeah, I can't really fault Brunning. 147.94. Take away the 50 points. Yeah, he's below 100. You probably had him 15 for average. So he's scored about 115 on a normal week. Rawls isn't putting up 52 points. He could put up 30. I'm sure. I'm not doubting that. But he's not putting up 50. I think Brunning's a good team. I respect his team in a sense of he's got a couple of good players. But he speaks up his whole team. Talking up TJ Yeldon like he's the next Barry Sanders. He's nothing. He's like, oh, this matchup. It's TJ Yeldon, Brunning. It's TJ Yeldon. Nothing special, right? Chill out about it. Stressing me out this league at the moment, I tell you. People acting like fools. Anyway, I'm going to move on now. We're going to go to week 12 in a minute. But I just wanted to talk about, carrying on about Andrew Bunning, I just wanted to bring up an issue that we've seen a lot of in this league's history, and it's just hacking in general, just using other people's accounts. And it's getting to the point now where something needs to be said. Now, I'm all for having a cheeky joke and changing team names and the badge. That's great. Great banter, Brian, or whoever it is. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say it. It's great banter the first time. Second time, alright, fair play, doing it again to make a point. Third time, you're boring me now, okay? You need to grow up, your child. Okay? The thing I find most interesting about this is Andrew likes to speak about all the time about in the group chat when there was a certain commissioner about it being a dictatorship, about lies, about secrets, about alliances, and basically this is what Brunning lives on. Let's not forget, Andrew, you're the guy who did the worst trade in history with George Ashley, bribing him and using him for your game. The only reason you've got a title is because of George Ashley, no one else. You're not a champion, you're a cheat. Okay. Secondly, talking about morals, about the morality of the situation. You're looking at another person's team, looking at waivers. Again, you're a cheat and you're calling everyone else for it. Someone has even called you a scumbag this week. I'm not going to name who they are, scumbag, for what you've done, for your cheating in the NFL fantasy. Scum of the earth has been used. Disgusting. Someone else called you a big jerk. Don't know who that would be. But the kind of just using someone's account, it's so petty, it's so boring. Just concentrate on your own team. Obviously, there's a little bit of fear there. A little bit of, oh no, if he beats me, I need every advantage I can get. Well, you can have every advantage in the world, Brunning, but you're not going to win, okay? This is not what the league's about. We don't want people lying and cheating and going on other people's accounts. We want fair play and justice for all. On this point, I'd like to add that I feel that certain members of the league feel there's been some weak leadership by Commissioner K. Not really on the scene to stop things or put people in their places. Very much a peacekeeper, not a politician. Got to have some opinions in this game. Got to lead as a commissioner. I think we need to see a bit more of the leader in Mr K and less the peacekeeper. Moving on, I'd like to just finally comment on the constant bum licking from the Alliance in the group chat. We get it, you're helping each other out. I'd also like to add there's been the insinuation that Mr Brunning is going to throw the match to allow Tom to win and put in players that he wouldn't necessarily start if he wasn't playing anyone else. I find this kind of insinuation disgusting. It's bad for the league, it's bad for the game. And frankly, if this happens, I think the Commission's got to come down hard on him. I think it's wrong for this Alliance to carry on in this way. And they were totally defeated once Tom was removed as Commissioner. It was shown that their alliance of two would never be a great democracy that the league was. And I'm really saddened to see that this alliance is starting to try to build up strength again and trying to take over the league with its pathetic games. Especially from Mr Brunning, who's obviously a leader. And make no mistake about it, Brunning will throw Tom under the bus. There's no doubt. He will throw him under the bus as soon as he gets a chance. There's no way that he's going to let Tom get in the playoffs if it means he doesn't win the league. So, Tom, you can use your alliance, you can think you're safe, but you're not. You're really not. And that's the bottom line. Moving on to week 12. We're going to look at the games, and then we'll have a quick review of the playoff picture. Because we've got 2 regular seats left. Brunning, 2, not 1, 2 regular season games left. Tom, not 1, but 2 regular season games, okay? Not 0, Tom. Not 1, but 2, okay? So we'll start off. Charles v Simon. Charles fighting for his life, trying to stay alive, you know, much like his beloved Adidas, just not up to standard. Simon's going to win this game. It's going to be a rubbish game. 125 points to 110, 115 in size favour. 2 boring teams. Sorry, Charles, but I think your playoff dream died last week when you lost to Craig. If you beat Craig, I think you're in a great position to maybe have a run, but not to be. 1 point can be the difference, and it has been this year for you, I'm afraid. Moving on, we have T.O. versus Brunning. This is a matchup that could decide the league, assuming that Andrew throws Tom under the bus in week 13, which we assume he'll do because he's got no morals, no kind of teamwork involved. He's using Tom in this alliance, so obviously he's going to throw him under the bus. I think Tio's going to bounce back in a little bit. I don't think we're going to see a low score like 87, because that's kind of embarrassing. But Andy's team's looking pretty solid, 147 points. It's a bit rolls to put up about 20-25 points. Jimmy Graham's an absolute disappointment. I couldn't think of the word to say for him there, because it's been a nightmare season for Jimmy. Big fan of Jimmy at the league, as you're well aware. But yeah, I think Andy needs to make a tight end move and make it quick, because the trade deadline is coming up, I believe, and I think he's going to struggle at this position. It's his big weakness, along with the rest of his team being pretty weak anyway, just scoring lucky points really. Yeah, I'm going to give Brian the win here. I'm going to put him in first place in the league. I wish him all the best as regular season champion, and I look forward to playing him in the playoffs, because his team are a bunch of bunnies. Moving on, we have Ollie versus Craig. These matchups this week aren't great. I've got to say, best one for last, obviously coming up. But Ollie v Craig, unless Craig can pull something out of the hat, this is an Ollie win, and Ollie puts himself in a good position. Or unless Ollie decides he wants to drop down a little bit and give himself a chance at maybe playing some of the playoffs he wants. Probably wants to play Simon or whoever else gets in. I guess Simon. I guess you still want to play Simon really. Don't really want to play Ollie or Sam, so I guess you're going to try and set yourself up for Simon. Can't play yourself. But lastly, Sam v Tom. This was looking as if it was going to be a match-up to decide who maybe gets in the playoffs, because Wood was on the rack, as we mentioned. He was looking pretty desperate when the Bills were playing against the Patriots with my boy Gronk. Respect Gronk. This is going to be an interesting one for me, because I think Tom is going to get smacked down hard this week. I think he's going to regret dropping Eddie Lacy, we hear rumours that Wood was one of the key reasons he dropped Lacy, dropping little comments in, playing it very smart apparently from what we're being told. And it's just rumours, of course, don't take this as gospel. But we believe Tom fell for those little tricks, because Wood wanted Lacy as a pickup, wasn't willing to trade for him, because Tom is asking for ridiculous trades as usual. But it looks like he's picked up Lacy, and out of nowhere he's got himself another top running back to go over his other three. This one's going to be an absolute mauling, running back central. If Des puts up any kinds of points, it is game barnage. It is game over. The running backs are going to carry the team, but if the wide receivers come through with any kind of points, 15 each, on a Titan maybe with 10, this game's over. It's done. It is finished, because his running backs are going to put up at least 80 points. He's scoring 170 this week. I think this is going to be another top scoring team. I'm a bit worried for him. This is going to peak early. Little bit early. This is not the perfect time to peak. You want to peak in a week or two. You want to make the playoffs. He's got to win this week, and he'll be guaranteed playoff football. But for Tom, this is looking like desperate times, because it will come down to week 13 for him. And look who. So let's assume I'm correct, and let's assume that after week 12, Sam's 6-6. Tom is embarrassingly 4-8. Craig is, what is Craig now? Sorry guys, let me just check what Craig is now. 5-6. So Craig is 5-7. This is going to be embarrassing. This is going to be awful. And then Charles would have it at 3-9. It's embarrassing. 3-9. Two of those wins coming against Sam Wood. Sam should be ashamed of himself for losing two there. So let's assume I'm right. Let's assume that Tom needs Craig to lose to make the playoffs. Craig Willis is playing Sam Wood that week. I think Craig's winning that game for some reason. I don't know why. I really do. I think Tom has to win this week. Otherwise, this is to illustrate a point. I think Tom has to win this week. Otherwise, he's saying goodbye. Because although he can still get in the last week, I've got a suspicion that Wood's going to try and tinker a little bit with his team. Try and work out if he can get a few more points elsewhere. You know, just not too much of a change, but you know, he might play Johnny Manziel at quarterback. Who knows? He likes a bit of Johnny football. He might play a tight end he likes from the Giants, like Donnell, just because he likes the Giants. I think we can see Wood try and make some big moves for that week, just to help his team kind of be held a little bit back, try and set himself in the playoff picture, put himself in the right position. So I think Tom has to win this week. I think it's a must-win game for Tom, for me, because I think if Craig's in week 13 and he's still in 6th position, I think he's staying there. Now, obviously, if Wood loses and he's tied with Tom, then the alliance comes into play because Andy is playing with Tom. Now, I believe Andy will throw that match because... Well, I believe Andy won't throw that match, actually, because I believe he's going to go for the title, and I believe Tom is going to get thrown under the bus. So I think Tom has to... Not only if he doesn't win this week, then he needs to win next week. He's not got much of a chance, really, Tom. Tom needs a lot of things to work in his favour, and I just don't see it happening. So this week's the first one, but next week, week 13, he's in big, big trouble, I think. Lastly, you got Cy and Ollie playing. They're two playoff teams, let's face it. But it'd be interesting to see a match-up that could be played out in the playoffs, played in the regular season, so that'd be interesting. Lastly, Charles with T.O. T.O. looking to probably keep his title hopes alive, hoping that Tom gets a win. Obviously, that's dependent on... Oh, that'd be a tight one. I think Charles is going to lose that game. I think Charles finishes a record of 3-10, the worst in the history of the league, probably. So yeah, that's your week 12 and actually a little bit of week 13 review. Again, apologies for no videos. This will be uploaded for Tuesday night. Wednesday morning will be tweeted out from the Essex NFL account. Thanks to our boy Gronk for joining me. Respect Gronk. You know it. He's supporting the Big Jerk haters. You can't read it. It says go Big Jerk haters. He's a big supporter of the Big Jerk haters because, frankly, he knows a cheat and he doesn't like seeing cheats win, so he's supporting the guy who is anti-cheating, and that is the Big Jerk haters. My name is Samuel Travers Wood. Thank you and good night.